Welcome to the 6th edition of Goa Arts and Literature Festival 2015. Today we have with us Mr. Mahesh Rao. Sir, it's a pleasure meeting you today.
Pleasure to be here, thank you.
Yeah. My question to you is, while in today's generation when people want to study and work abroad, you, even after studying out there, you chose India over it. Why so?
Well, the thing is, I did study abroad and I worked in the UK for quite a few years. But I think sometimes you get to a stage where if you want to write, you think it's now or never, and I just have to make that change, you know, if this is what I want to do. So it was the right time in my life to do that. And the thing is about moving to India is that India is very rich in stories. So I always say it's an extreme privilege to live in India if you're a writer, because you know, you can leave your house and just go for a 5-minute walk just to buy some milk or whatever, and you will encounter 15 stories on the way there and another 15 on the way back, because there's someone fighting in the street, there's someone you know, doing something else out of an upstairs window, there's snatches of conversation you're hearing all over the place, because we're all jammed together in this country. There's more than 1.2 billion of us, so you know, there's a lot of intensity and there's a lot of sort of physical closeness, and so you're thrust into people's lives very easily here, I think, and that's very, very exciting for someone who writes fiction.
You have done your studies in economics, law and politics. So where did writing fit in all this?
Well, the thing is, when I was working, doing all of those things, I was a lawyer, I was a bookseller, I worked as an academic researcher. Yes. I wasn't writing fiction at all. I don't think I was ready for it. I think you have to be ready to write fiction, and I'm quite sure I had nothing interesting to say in my 20s. So this is why, you know, nothing happened. But I would say that all the jobs I've done have dealt with words in some way, with words and expression and articulation of some form or the other, and I think all of that helps, all of that builds something in you, so that when it comes to the time when you start to when you feel ready to write fiction, it's there, you know, you've had some sort of background in the use of words in language, you know what it means to you and what you can do with it. So so I don't think any of that was wasted. I'm pleased that I came to it late, yeah, so and I think that's okay. In fact, one of the most inspiring things I've heard recently was the publication of a novel by this man called Jamil Ahmed, who's a Pakistani writer, who wrote a wonderful book called The Wandering Falcon, but he published it at the age of 80, his first book. And so I think, you know, I think that's a kind of a wonderful lesson for everyone, really.
Yeah, there's no age.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Could you tell us more about the projects you're working on presently?
Well, at the moment I've not been doing much writing at all, because I've been promoting my latest book, this collection of short stories, 1.2 billion. So I've been going to literature festivals, doing this sort of thing. You know, there have been launches in various places. So I think when all of that is happening, it sort of crowds into your life, and your life becomes quite different from what it normally is, which is solitary and fairly silent when you're writing. So it's a bit of a contrast, and I find that quite difficult sometimes to write properly, you know, because you're not in that immersion of writing that you need. You need a very sort of, well, I need a very sort of strict routine. I need that immersion, which hasn't been happening. But I am halfway through a novel at the moment, and I need to get back to it at some point.
Your second novel?
It's my second novel. It'll be my third book, but yes, my second novel, yes, yeah.
About Goa Arts and Literature Festival, this is the second time you're attending it.
This is my second time here, yeah.
How has it been different from before?
Well, you know what's lovely about the Goa Arts and Literature Festival is, well, A, it's in Goa, which, you know, I think any excuse to come to Goa, people will come running, and especially me. But but also the other thing is that quite frequently there are repeat authors here. So it's quite a good chance to meet people that you met before, that you made friends with last time. So it sometimes feels like a bit of a reunion, you know. And also because of the international center, it has a very much of a university feel here. It feels like a campus. So yeah, there is this sense of coming back to like a university reunion or something, catching up with people that you haven't seen before, or that you haven't seen for a long time, and also meeting new people. And the sessions here are pretty eclectic, you know. There are sort of mixtures of topics and book launches that you don't quite see anywhere else. And I also like that there is more of a sort of a Konkani focus that's happening at the moment, because that's always an issue with English language literature festivals in India. You know, what about the bhashas? You know, what about the local languages and stuff? So it's nice to see that there's more of an intermingling. I mean, I spent quite a long time yesterday talking to a few Konkani writers, and you know, it's just interesting to get all these different perspectives on what's happening with literature in India. So,
tell us more about the sessions you've been attending and what you're trying to show.
Yeah, well, the sessions I've been put on. So yesterday I was at a book launch for a very wonderful book, actually. It's a Kannada book in translation. It's called Gachar Gochar by Vivek Shanbag. And Gachar Gochar is, you know, I mean, I speak Kannada, and I looked at this and I thought, oh God, this is going to reveal my ignorance. I have no idea what this means, you know. But then as I read the book, I discovered that actually it's not a Kannada word at all. It's an expression made up by the author. So it's a nonsensical term, but in the novel it's used to mean virtually anything. It's a metaphor for various things. So I was quite pleased that, you know, that I wasn't revealed to be completely ignorant in this regard. But it's a slim novel. It's a very sort of powerful novel about life in Bangalore, sort of post 1992. You know, a family that becomes very wealthy very quickly and how this affects them. So it was great to be at the launch of that book and talk to Vivek Shanbag about his book and you know, the themes that he covers.
It's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahesh Rao.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. We are here at Goa Arts and Literature Festival. This was Mr. Mahesh Rao for you all. There are many more upcoming interviews that we have. Please stay tuned. Thank you.